Hello, everyone, and welcome to the audio commentary for A Ghostly Gathering. I am Chris Cortez. I am responsible for this film. Oh, look, there I am. I always say I add that now. I say a film by Chris Cortez and friends. And I realized my wife goes, like, I'm your friend? Because this was a pandemic movie. Um, we made this during the pandemic. It was an idea I had. It was a shower thought because I knew that I had just done Mr. Agent, and I knew we weren't gonna be able to do a lot of movies because of the pandemic. So I came up with this idea of, wouldn't it be funny if we just get like I play ghosts, I play several versions of myself, and we're all ghosts and just all this. And it presented a lot of new visual effects that Robot Head Entertainment had never done, which was pretty crazy. The see-through effect I knew how to do, and I'd done it before, never to a scale this big. The hole in the chest, the decapitation, having the head next to me, all that was new. Having so many people in the same shot and have it be transparent, all that was new. So it was tricky coming up with how to do most of these effects and whatnot. So a lot of these characters, well, two of the characters have relations to previous projects I've worked on, and all the other ones are new characters. This character, Dr. Milnes. So, I did a movie called Roommates, the movie experience, and in that movie, I play a character called Terry Wentworth Milnes. And if you really dive into the lore of Roommates, you discover that Terry was like a sleeper agent. He was an Australian spy that was reprogrammed to think he was someone else. So this is who he was reprogrammed to, believe in. So when I was developing this character, I kept thinking, well, I have to remember Terry is an echo of this character. He's not like exactly, the Dr. Milnes. It's almost like Terry's interpretation of Dr. Milnes. So I play the character a little differently, but he has a button-up shirt, the glasses are different. He has the hair behind his ears, similar hairstyle. So I think I did a good job. It's basically, this is the ground zero version of Terry, and then if you see Roommates, you're like, oh. And coincidentally, they're both dead. The other character is the rock star guy, who is the brother of Corey from Band-Aid, another project I did. So, and that was completely accidental. That was at the premiere. It was so funny. My friend was like, "Oh, that was the guy from that other movie you did, right? Because he's in a band called Broken Condom." And I'm like, "Oh my god, you remembered that?" And I'm like, "I didn't intend to do that." Which, from that shocked me, and I was like, "Okay, going forward, I have to definitely rewatch some of the older movies before I, commit to creating it, because apparently I was making mistakes." So Pirate Guy, as I call him, that's it. We didn't call it was so funny. We didn't call them like Dr. Milnes or anything like that. We didn't call them by character name. We were like, I'm like, Rockstar, Doctor, Nerd, Pirate Guy, Cowboy Guy. Because it was just, there was days where I was playing several of these characters back to back, and it was nuts. So, but I did that on purpose when I started. Like I said earlier, this came from a shower thought. I was taking a shower and I just thought, what I had said earlier, ghost movie, all that. So then the idea became, well, what kind of ghost should we do? And I remember I sat down and I said, well, we're going to have the normal guy, and it'll just be me. And we'll kind of visit, be introduced to the world with that guy. We'll have the doctor, who is the therapist, who's kind of trying to conduct everything and whatnot. And then I said, then from that point I didn't know who else. I had to come up with 3 other. I knew I wanted to do the decapitated head idea, and for some reason I associated that with a musician, like a rock star, because I'm rock stars are crazy, how did he get his head cut off? That's crazy. So it came with that. The pirate guy, John Barton, he was, I think I was I have a pirate costume and I have an eye patch. I think it was that. And then I thought, well, we could make a funny joke that he got shot with a cannonball, and that's how he, so we could just put a big hole in my chest. I thought that would be funny. And then the cowboy guy, I just knew I wanted a famous dead person. So for a while, I didn't quite know who it would be. I just kept telling myself, okay, you're going to, let's do a famous person who's passed away. Who the fuck is it going to be? And I had no idea. And honestly, I don't remember how I came up with Billy the Kid. I don't remember. I think at one point I'm like, oh, well, cowboy would be funny. Because I guess, it's the archetypes. You have the nerd, you have the average guy, you have, snooty rock star, you have pirate guy. So I said, fuck it, let's have cowboy guy. I knew he was going to be fake. He wasn't going to be the real guy. Okay, this is my favorite scene in the whole movie, and this was actually one of the last things we shot. This is just, I had so much fun. It was exhausting, but I had so much fun filming this. The sword falling there, that was so funny because we shot it against a green screen. So I had to climb really high above the green screen. And I was telling my wife, okay, now pay close attention to the sword. I'm going to drop it. It needs to look like it's falling down blade first. Let me know how it looks. If it looks bad, we'll go back and we'll refilm it, whatever. And then I was like, okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And I let it go, and it just, boop. It's the one and done. I said, how's it look? She's like, oh my god, that came out great. And I went, really? And I looked and I checked it out, and I'm like, wow, it did come out great. That was it. That was the end. We had the shot. It was a one-take wonder. Oh, I hate yawning on fucking commentaries. I hate it when I do that. It's immortalized forever. But alas. But yeah, that whole sequence, we did that in a day. And that came about because I knew he was going to have a decapitated head, but for a while I didn't know, what, why is he decapitated? And, I just, I had so many, oh god, at one point I thought, well, wouldn't it be crazy if he, because one of my favorite, singers is Adam Lazzara from Taking Back Sunday, and when he was younger, he used to twirl around a microphone, with his hands, and then he started like twirling it around his neck, and it was like really epic. So I thought, like at one point I was thinking, well, wouldn't it be funny if he twirls it around his neck and it gets like caught in something, like I don't know, like a fan or something, like they have some stage fan, and then it like pulls it and he gets decapitated. And then I was like, well, that's kind of complicated. It needs to be something really quick, and plus I don't know if I could actually do that on a no budget. And then I think I was just like, well, what if he's singing about like a song, like some dumb song that's called like, you know, the sword of my heart or the sword of my soul, as it turned out to be. And then like he takes out a lightsaber. He takes out a sword and he starts like moving it around, and then like he tries to throw it in the air to catch it, and then it cuts his head off. Because that just seemed like the stupidest thing in the world, and I'm like, yes, go with that. That's hilarious. So we did that, and it was really funny. We just, you know, went with that, and it worked out. And it was funny. And it was just so silly to film too. Speaking of filming, so this movie, like 90% of it, with the exception of the parts of my wife, like everything involving my wife, Becca, that you saw at the beginning of the movie, and the Sword of My Soul sequence, all of that was shot at the end. You know, that was all just, we did that at the end of the day and all that. But the core shoot, like this guy, the regular guy, that was day one. And I basically went into my living room. What's funny is my living room does not look like this anymore. Like, that couch is gone. But I went into the living room and I just mapped out. I'm like, okay, pirate guy sits here, cowboy guy sits there, the doctor's gonna be right here, the new guy, the noob is gonna be here. I just, like, you know, put it, like, set it all out. And then we would just film, you know? Like, we would see what's in the shot, and I would just film accordingly. And what was interesting was, this is the first film that we did, you know, in a while, using an actual microphone. We upgraded our sound technology, and so we're using a unibody microphone with a device that converts it to stereo and records all the audio separately. And so on the first day, when we're shooting all the stuff with me, as the regular guy, the noob, I told Becca, my wife, I said, okay, so, like, you have to hold this and just, like, point it at me. But you can't move a lot because it's sensitive. And she was so, like, she hated doing it because she was so worried that she was messing up the shot. So I said, okay, this is not going to be a problem for the rest of the shoot. I'm going to fix this right now. And I should have done this from the beginning, but I bought a mic stand. Just to set it up, so all the other shots you see in the movie, except for me as the normal guy, the audio is put on a mic stand to do the audio. But yeah, with the exception of the Rockstar guy, who we had to shoot 3 times, we had to do 3 shots for everything. Because what I would do is I would just do one take, or not one take, but I would shoot a lot of footage of me as the ghost, and then I would stand up and very carefully, see, you can see the pillow there, it's a little bit fucked up, but I'll try to stand up and very carefully not touch anything around me, because the thing is, you're shooting the same scene twice to achieve the ghost effect. So if you move anything, it kind of disrupts the effect. So here it's not too bad except for the pillow. And, I'd move to the side and then just shoot the background plate, you know? So then if you layer both of them together and you hit, like, this sweet spot of transparency, anything that's new that wasn't in the shot, you know, looks transparent. So in this case, it was me in my costume. Becca did great makeup. We had, you could see this, he's a new ghost. He was not really Billy the Kid. So he, like, only died a year ago. So he looks pretty good. Like, he's not decaying yet. And the same thing with the noob guy. He's, you know, he looks really great, James. But if you look at Dr. Milnes, and the Rockstar, and especially Pirate Guy. Like, you know, they have like Pirate Guy has scratches on his face, and he's like really decayed. That was all Becca. I have to give a lot of credit to her. She was the one, I told her what I wanted, and she was the one that sat down and was like, okay, yeah, like, here's the different levels of decay, and, you know, what do you think? And we would take photographs to make sure that everything was looking good. And I think it came out really awesome. Like, it really did. But yeah, the shoot was it wasn't bad. The shoot wasn't stressful. The editing was stressful because cutting this movie together, I realized I really needed a new computer because rendering all this, my old computer just could not do it. So I ended up buying a new computer and, you know, working it from there and all that. So this movie, I do have to say one thing. You know, we're wrapping up here. We got like 2 minutes left. I really had a lot of fun making this movie. I don't call this movie the true follow-up to, you know, when I started The French Assassin with a Bad Comb-Over, that became what I dubbed Phase 3 of my, you know, movie-making career or hobby career, whatever you want to call it. And this is not the true follow-up to The French Assassin, because a true follow-up is, you know, having access to things and you know, certain things. Obviously, I'm on a no budget, and I didn't have access to anyone. This was a pandemic movie. I just wanted to make something during the pandemic, and my wife and I were the only two people available. So yeah, that was always the ending, by the way. Will you shut the fuck up? Like, just cutting it there. I thought it was so great. And then here, this was Becca's idea of, like, I should complain during the credits, and that was so fun to do. It was just her complaining and me saying, say this. But yeah, this was a pandemic movie. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I think we did. We had so much fun making this. It's all me though, and I definitely want a movie where it's not all me. Which is why this is not the true follow-up. So yeah, whenever I do make that, it's gonna be fun. That's in the works, and yeah, but in the meantime, I had a blast making this. To those of you who enjoyed it, thank you so much. Oh god, the post-credit scene. Yeah, this was, again, I wanted to, because we had the Offended Mustache Society, so I wanted to do, or the Offended Mustache Party, so here I'm like, he's lonely. It was just so sad, you know? This is definitely a mark in history. I will always look back at this and be like, that was the pandemic movie. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and take care.